Okay, welcome to the newest episode of Jewish Money. I have my dear friend Shmuel over here. We're going to talk about what makes a person really wealthy, real wealth. Shmuel, in your expert opinion,
Yes.
as one of the wealthiest people in the world, what makes a person truly wealthy?
Well, basically, it boils down to how much money he has in the bank.
So, let's say a person like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, $100+ billion in the bank, maybe not in the bank, but at least, in his assets. Does that make a person?
That's also wealthy. I call them wealthy.
He would consider wealthy based on the net worth of the
That's
individual.
also true. Right. I should have. I would correct. I stand corrected. They're also wealthy. They're also considered wealthy. Not
also
only me.
considered wealthy? How much money do you have in your bank account?
Which bank account?
Yeah, multiple
Including
bank accounts. The Swiss bank account.
The
How
Swiss
much?
bank account.
How much you have in the Swiss?
Seriously. But I'll tell you why because you were making a very nice statement. You were saying that wealth is not sitting in the bank account. Wealth is spending it on things. That shows that you have money. Just let it sitting there and sitting there and sitting there. It's just like, it's not worth. It doesn't show you that you have any money if you just let it sit in the bank and it just collects dust. You know what I mean?
Right. That's what I was talking about before on my news show. I was talking about Jeff Bezos. He's thinking of donating. He's getting older. He's thinking of donating most of his wealth, $124 billion, to charity, philanthropy. In the footsteps of Warren Buffett and Bill Gates. I read about Warren Buffett that for breakfast he goes to McDonald's and he buys, I think, an egg McMuffin or something like that, and I think it costs like $2.90, $2.92. His wife lays out exactly $2.92 in coins. He won't even pay $3 for it. That's how frugal.
God bless him.
That's how frugal Warren Buffett is. But I just want to talk about for a second what I said. So I said that true wealth is being able, no matter how much money you have, and starts when you have smaller amounts of money. You have to learn to be able to spend that money on things you enjoy, foods you enjoy, clothes you enjoy, travel you enjoy, a home that you would enjoy, and the more wealth you accumulate, dollars, has to be spent. It has to be spent to purchase things you enjoy and learn what you enjoy.
That's right.
And if you're not able to spend that money, if the money just accumulates in the bank, and I read about Elon Musk, that he just bought Twitter. He said he has too much on his plate. He said people wish they were me. If they knew what my life was like, they never wished they would be me. Now, this guy's the richest guy in the world, but he can't enjoy his wealth because he's so busy working.
Right. And you know what? People are not going to say, "Oh, I hear what it's." Now I changed my whole plans in life because Elon Musk said it's not fun being so rich. No one's going to listen to him, right?
No one's going to listen to him.
Because they don't believe him. No.
They don't believe him. He's telling you the truth. He's an honest person.
I know, but people have this they imagine that being in his shoes it must be the best thing in the world. Okay, but getting back to what you said, what it means if a person gives away all his money, do you consider that that's a sign of wealth, and that's using your money? That means you're using your money for good things, for what you want to use. Just to buy a yacht means you're using your money. Let's say you want to give your money away to other people, to hospitals, to whatever he's going to do with it. What does he do with all that money? That's a lot of money.
I'm going to explain to you my philosophy on this. Is that if you're a type of person, right, that works really hard, that it's very hard for you to strike a work-life balance. Some people say it's almost impossible to strike that work-life balance. What happens generally is you're working many hours a week, and often you'll neglect the food you eat, what you really enjoy, going out to fancy restaurants. You'll neglect buying designer clothing, expensive watches. Yes, you will end up spending the money on grand things. You'll buy a yacht, you'll buy a huge mansion, you'll buy, a really expensive watch that you don't even know why it's so expensive. And the point is that you can't enjoy these things because you did not develop your wealth. And your wealth is your ability to enjoy this world through the money. And you have to start small. You have to start small, making those right decisions, deciding what you want to eat for breakfast, deciding what I'll enjoy more for breakfast. Maybe I'll enjoy going out with my wife for breakfast, Then you have to decide, what type of clothes you wear. It has to be comfortable. It has to look nice. But you have to go through a progression. You have to go from wearing Kmart stuff to wearing, Nautica stuff to wearing Tommy Hilfiger, Ralph Lauren, Gucci, things like that. It has to be an escalation. If you just go from 0 to 100, you go from being a pauper to buying a mega yacht, right? You're not ready for that mega yacht because you haven't developed a taste of what it is to be wealthy. And therefore, no matter how many mega yachts you have, or how many mansions you have, or how many houses you have in Switzerland and Monaco and, and the Bahamas, it doesn't make a difference because these are things which you're not ready to enjoy. You're not at that level where you can enjoy it because you haven't built yourself. Wealth is a process where you have to work on yourself to enjoy that wealth, to acclimate yourself to the wealth, and then want a step more. It's a step-by-step process, and people who just earn, athletes get a huge paycheck and they go buy some fancy watch for $1 million or a car for $4 million, they're jumping too quickly. They're jumping from poverty to extremism, and they'll never enjoy the wealth. So,
Benzino wants to buy the watch. Give the Benzino your watch.
See, I'm the perfect example of this. This is what I'm doing in my life, and I see it with my own eyes. I don't have too much money in the bank account, but I consider myself a very wealthy person. I'm wearing a Brooks Brothers shirt. I'm wearing a Ralph Lauren jacket.
Wow, nice.
I'm wearing a Fossil smartwatch over here. Generation 6. Everything I wear is designer, but this is the beginning. I want to have more money, or I'm able to afford, high-end stuff.
This cup. Show them your coffee. Look at the coffee cup.
Coffee cup. This is true also, because I could go to the coffee room and get an 8-ounce cup.
That's right.
For free. For free. I can get that for free. But I decided, you know what? This is a little more enjoyable. It's got a cover, a lid over here. It keeps it hotter. It's a fancy cup. I can sip it like that. It's also 12 ounces. I get more, more coffee for my buck.
And he throws it out.
And I throw it out. I don't keep it for the next day. There are probably some people who keep it for the next day. But this is one of my progressions that I was once drinking 8-ounce cups that I get for free in the coffee room. I decided to purchase for 16 shekel a week cups like this. It's a little more expensive, but it's something I enjoy more. Beautiful. And I'm progressing to a wealthier state. I consider myself a very wealthy person, and I'm progressing to higher stages of wealth.
That's a good system.
Unfortunately, in this world, people measure wealth based on what's in your bank account. And now I want to get back to what you're saying over here. You're saying that philanthropy, giving a lot of money to charity or to people that don't have the money, would be a way of enjoying your wealth. Do you really feel that's true, or do you really feel that it's not as enjoyable as spending the money on yourself?
Oh, well, I understand the way you phrase the question, that you think I'm bonkers for saying that, right? Because you feel if it's your money, you want to spend it on
stuff for yourself.
That's right. Well, I think you should write a book, because I think you have a good system of making money. It sounds like you just have to fake it. Is that it? You fake it till you make it? Is that your basically your?
I'm making it right now, baby. Even before I'm monetized on YouTube.
No, but I mean to say that you're ready. You're making looking to look. You're walking the walk. Right? Talking the talk.
People see me, they notice.
Exactly, I know. I also
notice. I
look at this cup. People look at this cup.
Oh, we saw it. I'm saying, I started going to the barber. He does my beard, once every other week.
That's right.
I started giving my shirts to the cleaners and things like that, to get them ironed over there. I don't iron myself.
And you have these designer mushrooms you buy.
The truffles.
Truffles, really?
But you said a point. You said Jeff Bezos, he's a philanthropist. He's giving away most of his wealth. You would consider giving away $60 billion the equivalent of being able to spend $60 billion to buy a collection of watches, a collection of gourmet food,
that's a very good question you're
accommodations.
Asking. I don't know what I would do, but I find it very interesting why this came about, this idea that everybody is starting to give away the money. What does it mean? Maybe it's something to do with, we're coming towards the end of the days. I don't know, maybe it's something more, cosmic, you know what I mean? Where did this come from that all of a sudden people are giving away? I don't think there was ever any time in history where all the rich people started giving away vast sums of money like this. I mean, there were people like Rockefeller, but that was like more out of it wasn't a mass revolution, a mass, movement. Very interesting. What do you think about that, Benzino? Do you think it's something, a movement, it's because of something in the world going on? Maybe the end of the days, the time of the Mashiach.
I think you could be onto something over here. I think maybe there is something to what you're saying, that people feel sort of empty. People looking for fulfillment in this world, where we live in a world where it's dominated by smartphones. To even get your attention for 30 seconds is so hard. People are constantly looking for, you know, interaction or some sort of engagement with something, and it always has to be constant. 30 seconds, I have to have something else to engage me, and they're feeling this emptiness, this void inside themselves, because not every second you can be entertained or enjoy every second. People are starting to feel this void in themselves, and they're looking at their bank account and saying, wow, what a waste. I wasted so many years building up my company, working so hard, 24/7 on my company for 20, 30, 40 years. And what do I have to show for it? A huge amount in the bank account. What am I going to do with it? They feel a void. So they're not wealthy people. They don't know how to enjoy their money. So at least what they can do is to give it away. Philanthropy, even though I don't think it's as enjoyable as knowing how to use your money for yourself and enjoy it for yourself, I do agree that it does give you a good feeling when you give away nice checks or even a little bit of money, especially a lot of money, to worthy causes. Philanthropy is a great thing. I'm not diminishing the value of philanthropy. It makes, on a personal level, it makes you feel good. I know I've given donations. I don't have a lot of money to give donations, but it does give me a good feeling to be a philanthropist, to be someone who is not a frugal, not a stingy person, to be someone with a, ayin tov, they call it, a generous person. People ask me for donations. I usually give very generously.
You're a good fellow.
And it makes you feel good. I think philanthropy really, it creates an enjoyment within your heart. But it's such a temporary thing. Imagine giving one $60 billion check. It makes you feel good for a day or two. But there's your $60 billion. What
and then you wake up in the morning and say, "What did I do? Oh my God!" No, but there is an interesting question. Not in if what is better to do? Is it better? I think the Rambam speaks about Maimonides. Is it better to give away, lump sum or small amounts? Small amounts. I think they say it's better to give away small amounts, because then you sort of, it's every time you do it, if you do another, you have to work on your feelings, like your feelings of a person's selfishness. You're working on it and you're breaking it down. And there is an idea, like you're saying, that's true. But giving away such an amount, you can't give it away little by little. I guess you're talking about billions and billions. The more you give, the more you're gonna. I mean, you give a little bit, then tomorrow you have it back in your bank account. It automatically restores, and then.
Oh. Well, I'll tell you, the truth is that actually he's saying philanthropy is a very hard job, actually, and he's trying to figure out how much to give. He is dividing his money to give to different causes. But I just want to ask you one last question over here before we have to part ways. Because I know you have a busy schedule. You have your own business that you're,
Of course, I have to speak.
Really, you're working to, 23/7. This is the 1 hour of the day where he's not working. So I have him for an hour, 15 minutes over here. But this decision, let's say you have, I don't know Jeff Bezos' family, if he has kids or not. Let's say the type of person, you have a family, he has children, I don't know. You have children, you have grandchildren. What do you consider it better to do? You're a person that has a huge sum of money in the bank account. Do you leave your money as inheritance to your own family, or do you give a substantial part to philanthropy? Or is there a balance between the two? What is your opinion about that?
That's a very good question. I mean, I know that Warren Buffett doesn't want his kids to have, to have a lot of money. That's like, right? That I understand it from reading a little about him, that he doesn't want his children to grow. He didn't treat them in any. They didn't feel they grew up in a wealthy home, and I think he's against that. He says that's like food stamps for life. He calls it, giving them a big inheritance. And I think they grew up like a normal functioning people, which is I guess it really is true. But I mean, I don't know. What do you say, doctor? Can I call you doctor?
Call whatever you want. I mean.
But don't call you late for dinner, right?
Personality.
No, just joking.
Social media personality.
You are a social media personality. You are. And what do you think about the...
What do I think about this question? So, I do agree with what you're saying. I think children shouldn't be granted the rest of their lives for free and not have to work, because at the end of the day, a large part of your enjoyment in life is achieving success. When you're handed money, you don't feel like you have to work anything. You have no ambition in your life, and your life goes down the drain. You know, as we learned in the Talmud, it says, you know, people that have nothing to do, it leads them to go crazy. That's sometimes. Right. So I do think that children should, you know, I personally, my father, you know, was very insistent that I earn my own keep. That, you know, that I, you know, made money myself. And, you know, there's a lot of parents in the ultra-Orthodox sector who support their children, buy them apartments, you know, support them learning in Kollel, which is, you know, studying Talmud for many years, and they're supported by their parents. I don't think it's a good thing for anybody. I think you have to earn your own keep, and I think it's good for your ambition and to keep yourself interested in life and to ultimately attain your own success. But if I had a large sum of money, I would leave a substantial part for insurance. I would put some sort of stipulation that only if it was a grave need for money, they could draw from those funds. And if there wasn't, I have to figure out exactly what the terms were. But if there wasn't a grave need, like a medical emergency or something like that, then the funds should eventually be given to charity and to worthy causes. This way, I think you get the best of both worlds, because I think as a parent, you want to make sure your kids are taken care of even after you die. You want to make sure that they have that outlet if they need to pay for an expensive expenditure, a wedding or something like that, or a medical emergency, or something that they need. You know,
or the upholstery is going bad in your
so that's why it'll be very careful. You have to write down.
That's right.
You have to be a really smart person to figure out what is considered a need and what is considered a want or a luxury.
That's right.
The needs should be taken care of for your kids in case they need it, but the wants, they should have to earn themselves. In order to, they shouldn't feel entitled, and they should have ambition and enjoyment in attaining their own success. That's my opinion. Thank you, Shmuel, for joining me. It's been great. It's great to get back to Jewish Money. Hopefully, we'll produce these on a weekly basis going forth.
Oh, that's nice.
Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.